Well, the semi-finals coming up for the women's 200 metres. Now 3 semi-finals, and the first 2 go through by right with 2 non-automatic qualifiers. Their final, by the way, is the last race tomorrow night, so they'll have over 24 hours to rest up for the final. Those, the lucky 8 who make it through to that final. There is the field. Look for a great run from Gina Bass here in 4. And the Nigerian Favour Ofili 2. She's in fine fettle. Natalliah Whyte, 8th in the 100 here. Watch her for a fast start from her. So, Jacinta Beecher of Australia goes on the outside, 22.70. The law student was a 5th in her heat in 23.13. There is Abby Gilpin of Guernsey, 3rd in her heat in 24.4. That was a season's best. Hanya Bryant of Wales, 6th in the World Juniors 100 back in 2016. A semi-finalist, the 100 here. 2nd in the heats in 24.04. She'll need to go a lot quicker. Here is the one of the class act athletes, the Jamaican Natalliah Whyte, 4th in the Jamaican Championships, a finalist in the 100 here a couple of days ago. Favour Ofili of Nigeria, the semi-finalist in the World Championships back in Doha, over 400 metres. She's a really classy one-lapper, the 19-year-old. Look for her to come late. Gina Bass goes in lane 4. A semi-finalist in Tokyo, 100 and 200 metres. Her personal best, 22.58. Charlotte Wingfield of Malta goes in lane 3. 4th in her heat in the windy 24.4. London-born Wingfield. And Shanti Veronica Pereira of Singapore goes in lane 2. Semi-finalist in the 100, 4th in her heat here, but in a national record of 23.46. There's often a silver lining, whether you qualify for the next round or not. So the first heat of 3 then, in the women's 200 metres. The stadium draws to silence. Pereira goes in 1, Wingfield in 2, Bass in 4 rather, excuse me, Ofili in 5, Whyte in 6, Bryant in 7, Galp in 8, and Beecher on the outside for Australia.
Set.
Away they go. Who's showing first? Really good running from Gina Bass in lane 4. Outside her, the Nigerian Ofili getting into a running now. Picked it up around the middle of the bend and steaming away with this one. And looking very strong. She's powerful and she's long and she's rangy. It's only the first 2 who'll go through by right, remember. She's going to be fine as Ofili, but who's going to get second place? Desperately tight to the line there. And I think maybe Natalliah Whyte did enough, held her form through despite the desperate lunge of Gina Bass in lane 4. No doubting the winner, plus 1.9, the win behind it, that's a legal time. And the 22.66 for Ofili, and it was Whyte who took second place, 23.09. It was incredibly tight for second spot. Gina Bass leant desperately at the tape there. Did she lean too soon, Kath Merry?
Well, she's come through at 23.09, as you say. The lean of Gina Bass means at the moment she's in one of those non-automatic qualifying positions, of course, with 23.10 seconds. But the Nigerian ran this well, didn't she, Ofili, in lane number 5, committed on the bend. There's no holding back from any of these athletes now. So semi-final at the Commonwealth Games, and the foot is well and truly on the gas. And Bass here, look at the battle, look at the lean here between the athlete from the Gambia and Jamaica. And there is the photo finish. The line, of course, being taken back to the chest, which is what it's read from. But no problem from Ofili there, Tim. Looking good, done and dusted.
Sorry, Kath, yeah. Very smooth running indeed from Favour Ofili. She took a while to get moving, didn't she, in true 400-metre runner style. She didn't come out of the blocks and blast till at first 70 or so. But a very mature, controlled race from one so young. She's only 19, is Favour Ofili. They've got quite a talent here, the Nigerians. You can see her there picking up pace, it seems, almost accelerating around the first 70 or 80 metres, then just holding her form here now. Nice high knees, beautiful form from the Nigerian. 22.66
seconds in a semi-final with no medal on the line. That number should not exist at this stage of a championship. And yet a 19-year-old posted it while never looking like she was working hard enough to run it. That is the paradox this video answers. How does an athlete running within herself still produce a world-class time? What did Favour Ofili do mechanically and tactically in Birmingham that made the race look effortless when the data says it was anything but? By the end of this breakdown, you will see exactly where her advantage was built, phase by phase, and why the most important 30 meters of the race happened before most viewers were paying attention. The event is the women's 200 meters semi-final at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. The field includes Jamaica's Natalliah Whyte, the Gambia's Gina Bass, Singapore's Shanti Pereira, and 5 other qualifiers. Wind reading, plus 1.9 meters per second. Legal. Conditions are fast. Ofili draws lane 4. She is 19 years old and carries a 400-meter background, a fact that explains almost every technical decision she makes over the next 22 seconds. The gun fires. And here's where most people look at the wrong thing. Everyone watches who gets out quickest. Bass, in lane 6, produces the sharpest early acceleration on the bend. She covers the first 40 meters faster than anyone in the field, driving hard from the blocks with short, powerful strides. Whyte in lane 7 also moves cleanly. For the first 3 seconds of this race, Ofili is not leading. That is not an accident. It is the plan. And understanding why requires going back to what a 400-meter background actually does to an athlete's neuromuscular profile. Sprinters who develop primarily over the quarter lap train their bodies to manage energy output across a longer time window. Their stride cycle tends to be longer, and their ground contact time slightly extended in the early phase. Not because they are slower, but because explosive block work is not where their system is optimized. Ofili's first 40 meters reflect this. Her block clearance angle is relatively conservative, closer to 55 degrees from horizontal compared to the 45 to 48 degrees you see from pure 60-meter specialists. She does not snap into a vertical position quickly. She stays long. What that costs her in the first 5 seconds, she recovers with compound interest over the final 80 meters. Coming through 60 meters, she is running approximately 9.8 meters per second. Base, at peak acceleration, has touched roughly 9.6, but is beginning to decelerate. Whyte holds close to 9.7. The gap between Ofili and the leader at this point is narrow, perhaps 0.3 of a second, but the velocity curves are already crossing. Here's the part that does not make sense on the surface. Ofili is not accelerating harder than anyone else through the bend. Her cadence increase is gradual, almost invisible. No sudden gear change, no visible surge, just a quiet, continuous climb. That continuity is the mechanism. Elite 200-meter runners who sustain smooth acceleration across the full bend without neuromuscular disruption reach the straight with more velocity in reserve than athletes who spike early. Ofili enters the home straight at approximately 10.4 meters per second. Base enters closer to 10.0. Whyte is at roughly 10.2. The race is already decided, even though no one has finished it yet. What made the real difference? Her top speed, or something that happened before that? Keep that question in mind as we move into the straight. At the 80-meter mark, Ofili's mechanics deserve close attention. Her posture is nearly vertical, shoulders relaxed and set low. Knee lift is high, thigh approaching parallel with the ground on each drive, which lengthens her effective stride without requiring extra muscular effort per cycle. Stride length at this point is estimated at approximately 2.2 meters, with a cadence of around 4.7 strides per second. She holds this for most of the straight, peaking near 10.9 meters per second between 90 and 140 meters. That peak speed is fast, but it is not the fastest in the field. What separates her is velocity maintenance. Most athletes lose between 3 and 5% of top speed over the final 60 meters of a 200. Ofili loses approximately 1.8%. That is not a trivial difference. It is the product of superior lactic threshold conditioning, the physiological fingerprint of a 400-meter trained athlete running a 200. She crosses the line in 22.66 seconds. Behind her, Whyte leans precisely at the tape to take second in 23.09, edging Bass by 1/100th of a second, 23.10, in one of the closest finishes of the evening. What this performance reveals is something real about how the 200 meters is being won right now. Increasingly, it goes to the athlete who manages the back half most efficiently, not the one with the sharpest early acceleration. Ofili's semifinal is about as clean a demonstration of that as you will find. The uncomfortable part is that her 22.66 was not a ceiling. She never appeared to approach maximum effort, and her mechanics stayed clean through the line. Athletes who look this controlled at world-class pace rarely stay at world-class pace for long before going beyond it. Tell us in the comments, do you think the 200 meters belongs to the pure speed specialists, or is it shifting toward the quarter-milers? Real answers only, no fence sitting. The defining factor in this race was not Ofili's top speed. It was her acceleration curve shape, specifically the absence of a deceleration trough between 60 and 100 meters, where most athletes lose the rhythm they built on the bend. She maintained continuous positive velocity change from gun to approximately 120 meters. No other athlete in this field matched that arc. For any future 200-meter race you watch, track the 80-meter mark, not the finish. The athlete who enters the straight with the most velocity and the most relaxed mechanics at that exact point will almost always win. The finish line is where the race ends. The straight entry is where it is decided. If you want more race breakdowns built around the numbers that actually explain the result, subscribe and like this video so the algorithm keeps putting this content in front of people who want to understand athletics rather than just watch it. Drop a question below about any race or technique you want dissected next. We read everyone.